Good evening, friends, followers, channel members. Hope you're all doing so well. We've all been waiting for the Fenix A319 and A321, and that's it. We knew it was going to be around and released this week. Must admit, didn't expect that it was actually going to be today, day one of the week, so the hype wasn't really long-lived, was it? Because it's here, it's available, and today, after putting to a vote on our Discord server, do you want to see a live stream of the 319 or the 321, everybody, well, I say everybody, that's not true. There were some votes for the 319, but the majority of people wanted to see the A321, which poses a small problem for me in terms of reality. Does anyone know what the issue with that is here, flying an Easyjet A321 flight here? Full marks to you in the chat if you do know what's not realistic about this, but we will go and have a little walk around and see what's there. But yeah, this is what we're going to be doing today. It's a real world Easyjet A321 route. It isn't that long actually, is it? It's only Gatwick to Geneva, so I think flight time is about it's just over an hour, which is great. Good enough time for a nice short flight. Test it out and see how we get on. Yeah, Landsrear, that's it exactly. EasyJet don't have A321 200s, the old CEOs, or the IEs. They only have Neos, so we're not being entirely accurate with our flight, our choice of airframe tonight. They do have the normal 319, so that's going to be fine when we do those. But yeah, we're if you look at the livery manager for the Fenix A321 now that it's released, you'll find only one A321 livery, and that's for the IE engines, which is what we've got here tonight, and that's simply because they only fly Neos on their 321s. So yeah. Anyway, we shall gloss over that little fact. So I'm sure more liveries will come out eventually for this superb aircraft. But look at it, 4 doors. It's so heavy. Maximum takeoff weight of 89 tons. Landing weight 75.5 tons. Maximum zero fuel weight 71.5 tons. It's just, yeah, it's huge. Think about the walk around for the guys that are used to doing like these flights. It's going to take even longer, but that's brilliant. Swedish Fish, they don't fly this bird in real life. Well, at least EasyJet in the EasyJet in the UK certainly don't. Don't think any of the Europeans do, but yeah. I love the details of this. The livery makers, all the liveries, not just these jets, but all of the liveries look so good. They're dirty, they're not clean, so much detail on it. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. What I really like as well is if you do check out these Jet 319s, you do get the double doors over the wings, the emergency exits. Which is great. Lots of people, I've seen so many people complaining about the price. You're getting 4 different aircraft. It's £10 per aircraft. What would PMDG charge for this? So I think it is an absolute beauty. Swedish Fish says you're looking for the reg on Google. You can see the livery on Google or Flight Radar 24. Google may be historic. We might have to have a look in flight, see if it's around. But certainly EasyJet UK only have Neos. So Matthew, yeah, who on earth is complaining about price? Honestly, loads of people complaining that existing users of the 320 don't get a discount. Honestly, £10 an aircraft for this level of detail. I mean, this is just the artwork, isn't it? We're only looking at the artwork here, but come on, let's show appreciation for all of the things underneath the hood. It's incredible. Different ECAS systems, everything is literally. They are 4 separate planes. They are amazing. Padabel, mate, that is awesome. Thank you so much. Kicking off our stream tonight with a 733 tip. That is awesome. Thank you so much. But this is the aircraft we're going to be taking down to Geneva tonight. So before we get going, biggest risk with this aircraft? Anyone want to hazard a guess and throw their hat into the ring with that? Fat Dan Gamer says 4 aircraft with the greatest replication in real life that has ever been present in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, it's an awesome price. I can't really entertain anyone that says that you know, the add-on pack, it's £40. Now, I'm not dumbing down the fact that £40 is a lot of money to a lot of people, but that's not the point. Fruit about the pilot flying. Yeah, he's always a threat. But yeah, most of you coming in there with the tail strike. Of course, yeah, tail strike is much easier to do. Scrape that bum on the ground on this aircraft, but it's so big, it's so sturdy. Also, a few people noticing that the climb rate of this isn't so good. Well, no, not when you're used to flying a 320. This is a much heavier aircraft. You know, its dry M2A is about 48.5 tons, so it's a much bigger aircraft. It's a much heavier aircraft. We'll find out when we're taxiing it as well. You need to taxi it a little bit differently, just because of how long it is. But it looks beautiful. Yep, even with this old dumbed down livery, it looks beautiful. And of course, with the IE engines, we'll turn the volumes up as well, so you can have a little listen to that as well. Swedish Fish says land with flaps 3. Well, you can do. Now, landing with flaps 3, you might think might give you a greater chance of a tail strike. Well, actually, landing with flaps 3 on the A321 is pretty much, because of the way the slats and the flaps are designed, it's pretty much the exact same picture out of the window and attitude that you get with the A320 flap 3 landing. So there isn't really much difference with that. So it's that will be the plan. We'll try a nice flaps 3 landing night into Geneva if performance allows. British Airways there landing in the background. Matthew says he took the 321 over to Dallas a couple of weeks ago. 28 minutes to climb to flight level 290. The poor climb rate is indeed very real. We will see how long it takes to get up to our top of climb. What are we at tonight? We're at 31,000 feet. So we'll... Oh, there's a dancing Easyjet there. So we'll get on and we'll get started, shall we? So... we'll go through the briefing and the flight plan in here. So we're doing it as a real ops flight, so as per usual, when we're doing real ops, it is as realistic as possible as we can make it. So there you can see the figures actually on the operational flight plan for the 321 jet. We've got a takeoff weight about 72 tons, even with a bit of extra fuel thrown in. We're not going to be near our max landing weight, so that's going to be fine. Don't need to consider that if we need to return in a hurry. Total en route to fuel trip time is about 1 hour 10 minutes. Alternate is Zurich. Cost index of 4, of course. Cruise flight level 310. Not much of a wind to help us down there today. Overall tailwind of 5. No real shear rate to speak of either, so that's fine. Call sign tonight 49 X-ray Victor. Not the best, but there you are. It's a real world flight though, so real world call sign, real world A321 flight. It's just not a Neo. We're off 26 left. Bognor 1 X-ray is the plan, and then it's a 04 arrival into Geneva, which I quite like. This is a little bit trickier than coming in over the lake, just because of the hills and things. You've got to manage the energy a little bit more, which for this aircraft is going to be fun as well. So plug fuel is just under 7 tons, CNR is 2.9, and then if we just have a look through the route, we'll see none of the train beneath us is above 10,000 feet, so that's fine. Weather is looking nice in Geneva at the moment. It's all Cat 1, no crosswinds either, so no excuse for a naff landing later on. Quick look at the forecast. So winds forecast just to become 050 at 10 cab OK. Yeah, in fact those winds even looking to drop off to be light and variable, so they could potentially change. Runways, so we'll keep an eye on that, see what's happening. Zurich is our alternate. Weather there looks okay as well. We've also got Lyon, Malpensa, all of those looking pretty good, and Grenoble too, so fine. Our flight route Yep, straight over France, over Paris actually as well. Should get nice views if the weather's decent. Let's have a quick look at our NOTAMs and see if there's anything to concern us. Taxiway Kilo and Lima closed there overnight, so that's not a problem. Taxiway Romeo's reopened, that's fine. Runway 26 threshold identification lights unserviceable. Okay, it's daytime, so I'm not going to be too worried about that, unless it starts raining. Have we got anything in... anything to worry about in Geneva? Don't think we have either, actually. So Geneva's looking good. Okay, let me just have a quick look at the weathers en route. So that little sector there, okay, bit of turbulence maybe in the descent, but descending over the start of the Alps, that's not unusual, particularly this time of year. And then just the sideways profile, no shifting winds, so should be a smooth ride in the back for all the cabin crew. Wonderful. Right, what fuel we're going to take then? What was plug? Plug was 6.8. I think with the weather looking as good as it is, we will opt for... we'll throw a couple of extra 100 kilogram on, so we'll just take 7 ton. It's a nice round number. I'll tell the ground crew that's what we're after. Where are we? Pushback 23 minutes. Might be pushing that, to be honest. Look at all the doors. And so, just realised I've not updated my GSX, so God knows what's going to happen here. GSX, is that going to work? There we go. Ancient Dino, when have Easyjet had A321 CEOs? Oh, Ancient Dino, you weren't here at the start of the stream, were you? But no, we have said we're slightly unrealistic in that sense. It's pixelated official. Can this fly transatlantic? I think they have done in the past, but you need to be careful. Realistically, only the A321s with the additional centre tank usually do that, and the A321 Neos, which are more efficient. So yeah, they can do it. Okay, so hopefully refueling will be underway at the back in a few moments. Right, let's get rid of that and let's check that the aircraft's all looking good for us. So usual stops, we've got the pumps off, external power at the moment, packs off, obviously nav logo lights they are on. Cockpit doors currently open. Is it open? Oh yeah, so it is. Remind me to close that. Flap spoilers, parking brakes. Acupressure's not yet in the green. Fine. And just turn the brightness of that down a little bit. Good. Right, ATC. Have we got any ATIS? 13652. Let's check it out.
Five aircraft type on first contact, advise on initial contact. You have information. Oscar.
Let's get the rest of it then.
Gatwick 8 is Oscar 1820 Zulu. Z runway in use 2 SIXL. Transition level 75 ILS approach to be expected. Gatwick delivery is closed. ATC service continues on Gatwick ground 121.805 when 210 at 11. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds at 2200. Temperature 18. 2.14. Altimeter 1013. Acknowledge receipt of information Oscar, and for departures,
okay, that's fine. So 1013, yeah, that's fine. Monitoring the guard frequency, let's turn that on. All that's been monitored as well. Switching panel, thrust levers, engine board mass selection, they're fine too. Let's get constraints on as well. What I'm really pleased to see is that my wing flex FCU EFIS unit all appears to be working, so it doesn't look like any major update to that is needed, which is really nice. I'll probably find something that's not quite working at a critical moment later on during the flight, won't I? But for now, all is good. So yeah, refueling currently underway, and let's check out the box then. Oh, I bet I know what I've not done. I know what I've not done. I bet I've got an old nav data in because I won't have, unless it's using the Fenix nav data for all of them. I have to double check. So that's our initial load sheet, that's fine, we'll accept that, we'll get details off that in a moment. Flight in it. There we go, 1 hour 10 minutes. Right, let me just check. IRS, we got 3 nav greens. Right, what aircraft status we got? Oh, thank goodness it is only using one set, so you don't have to update the nav data for all 3 different airframes. Wonderful. Okay. So, let's do our init request there. Flight number, easy. What are you? 49 X-ray Victor. Cost index 4. Ground temperature is 18. And the tropo is quite high. 45637. Grab the winds. How many people are flying the 319 or the 321 right now? I can see a couple of people just said that they've just finished the first flights, etc. and loving it so far. 51.9 north and 10.3 west. That's fine. We're stand 48 right, so coordinates match up with what I've got written down here. Cruise flight level. We're heading 310. Wonder how long it'll take to get up that high. And temperature is 38. That's interesting, just the fact that it's still above minus 40 degrees, so any clouds or any anti-ice on for the cruise. Alright, so expecting 26 left, Bogner 1 X-ray departure. Arrival in Geneva is going to be the ILS 04, Lusa 2 November, oops, go back. Ah! Right, insert that. Where are you? I'm coming in right in this. There we go. Right, that has a distance of 463. I've got 462 on the flight plan. Perfect. Radnav page, we'll throw in Mayfield just in case we need to get back to Gatwick in a hurry and use raw data. I mean, that would be a bad day, wouldn't it, at the office? Right, init B page, let's have a look at some weights. I think passengers are now going to start boarding, which is good. So we've got a zero fuel weight of 65.4. And a CFG is 22.1.
Welcome on board our Easyjet service. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you.
Fuel needs to be added, of course, to balance this out.
Loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat.
Fuel alternate is 1.7.
Enabling all remaining customers to your seatbelt and now the
Takeoff weight CFG is 21.9.
Thank you for observing this policy.
And we're taking 7 tons, giving us a takeoff weight of 72.2 tons. God, that sounds heavy, doesn't it? Cody says people can't use the mini FCU with the 319 or the 321 yet. I'm sure that will come. Like I say, I'm really happy that the WingFlex is working straight away. I've not updated anything, so that's great. Right, 26 left, it's dry, flaps 1 foot, no, scratch that, we're in a 321. This is something that may catch a few people out. You can depart flaps 1, but a lot of airlines go with flaps 2. Again, it's just to mitigate that tail strike risk. and over rotation. No need to force toggle, anti-ice off, packs off because we're Easyjet. Takeoff weight 722. And that CFG is 21.9. Sync the live weather and intersection data. We shall. Oh, is it Bravo 1? We normally look at. Honestly, can't remember. Yes, Bravo 1. So then that gives us performance of 149, 154, 154. Transition altitude is 6,000. Flex of 57. Flaps 2. Nice. And let's just check the engine out procedures. So even though we've been using this obviously for A320 stuff, it's still relevant for the A319, A321. So that's going to be take 200 off these for new SOPs. So 800 feet AGL, the thrust reduction acceleration, meaning that this is going to be 993, 993, 993. And then the engine out procedure for Gatwick is standard. 1700 feet, left turn, Willow, take up the hold. So let's get that onto the secondary flight plan. Hold at Willow. 284. And left turns. Complete the circle then, if something's gone wrong, leaving the hold at Willow back to London Gatwick, where they're using runway 26 left for arrivals. No start. And Willow. Let's check that. There we go. Left turn, hold. There's the arrival and there's the go around. Lovely. So that's all set. We'll contact air traffic control, make sure our flight plan's valid and accurate, and get going. Clever Trevor, you're confused. SimSmart is good for non-Neo engines. Only for thrust reduction acceleration values and the engine out procedures, not for the calculations. Yeah, don't use Neo calculations with the CAO engine. That might not end well. Right. What frequency do we need? 121805. Still takes forever to tune the radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our Easyjet service.
Right, shut that off. Gatwick ground, good evening, Easy 49 X-ray Victor, stand 48 right, A321 with information, Oscar requesting clearances filed to Geneva.
Okay, first Easy 49 X-ray Victor, Gatwick ground, good evening, cleared Geneva via the Bognor 1 X-ray departure, squawk 6001, QNH 1013.
Cleared via the Bognor 1 X-ray departure, squawk 6001, copied QNH 1013, Easy 49 X-ray Victor.
My apologies, the station for Innsbruck, just say again your call sign.
It wasn't Innsbruck, it was Inverness. It's the Easy 76 uniform whiskey.
don't get the two confused.
320 Oscar 1013, clearance Inverness, please.
Easy 76 uniform whiskey, Gatwick ground, good evening, thanks, there's 2 on that, so it just got a bit mixed up. You are cleared Inverness.
Imagine being cleared to Innsbruck, but wanted to go to Inverness. Not even the right direction. Okay, our final company load sheet has come through as well, so that's fine. I'm going to start the APU because I think everyone's loaded, so we're going to get pretty ready to go. So APU started. Just using my mini overhead panel here, which again natively is working now with the Fenix A321 straight away, so that's great. Takeoff weight 72.6, is that? Right, well in that case 72.8. We've got 72.8. Right, that means we are over 300 kilograms difference. So let's just edit that. 72.6 is now our takeoff weight, meaning we'll just rerun those figures. 72.6. It was 149,154, so 495454 flex of 57. 4949. Sorry, 49545457. So that hasn't changed. Okay, fine. LMC check has been done. And what about the CFGs? They haven't changed, have they? 22.1. Oh, the takeoff weight CFG has indeed changed. 26.8. That needs to be looked at as well. 26.8. 26.8. And calculate that. No, all the values are still the same. V1149. 154, 154, flex 57, and we just cross-reference that in the box. 49, 54, 54, 57, flaps 2. Perfect, we're all set. Lovely. Alright, refueling's completed, we've got 7 tons. Let's just check that is all balanced. Yes, it is. Different fuel system, of course, in the A321, so this looks slightly different in the way that works. So, with that all done, our fuel pumps can come back on. APU is up and running, external power, that can come off, and APU can come off. No, it can't. Oh, what an idiot. Power it back up. I think I might have just erased everything. Didn't mean to do that. We've just scared the life out of all the passengers. Have we just lost GPS primary? Yes, we have. Thankfully, I think all the data in the box that was saved in the batteries. All gaming says we've all done it. Yeah, I do know some that have done that in real life. Scares the hell out of the people in the back when that happens. Right, it just means now I'm just going to have to wait for the realignment of the GPS, the ADs, etc. It's not a problem. Right, well we need to brief anyway. So whilst that's coming back to life, let's have a look at our departure and brief the flight. We did talk about the threat being the pilot flying. That might have been correct. So let's just check where we are. Get the chart up for the ground. There we are. So we are stand 48 right, which is right at the top right, just there. So we'll push back facing south on Lima. We can expect taxi down Lima and then Papa. Tell them we can take Bravo, Mike Alpha, or Mike, whichever for that. And then 26 left departure. Hotspot there is a little threat as we're going. For those of you unfamiliar with Gatwick, that is an absolute pain, that hotspot 3, if you're not careful. It is daylight, so we should be alright. And we've done it enough times to hopefully not get lost, but just be aware of that. The departure itself then, what are we on? Bogner 1 X-ray. Are we going to do a single engine taxi? No, we're not. We're going to get both engines started as we go. So, the departure is Bogner 1 X-ray. Just grab the charts for that. So, straight out, and our initial climb is 5,000 feet. We've got a speed restriction there of 220 knots as well. No turns below 710. That should be fine. MSA is 2-1. Once we're past Kilo Sierra 1-7, we'll push for managed speed, and then we can accelerate away as usual to 250 knots, transition altitude 6,000 feet. As we are just having a quick look down here, characteristic speeds are... Oh, right, excellent. We'll hold clean speed then, 219. So we'll just preselect that. Close enough to 220. That's fine. Nav accuracy's all been upgraded, so good stuff. Back to normal. Phew. So threats to be aware of, the main one, definitely the pilot flying, but no, Gatwick obviously it's quite busy, lots of traffic around, so keep your eyes and ears open, eye on TCAS, that kind of stuff. Nice and busy on the radios as well, which is always good fun. Weather is fine, don't need to really brief that, there's nothing for departure or en route that looks daft. Aircraft is fully serviceable, it's brand new, weather radar doesn't work though, no NOTAMs, and I think that's it. It's pretty much standard Gatwick. Right, so get that on. APU bleed, get that on, otherwise everyone's going to start feeling a little bit warm in the back. Give it another minute before we get the packs on. And we'll get the ground crew into position and we'll get ready to go. Also worth noting as well that if you use SimFX and the Airbus A320 SimFX package, that is now working with the 321 and also the 319. That was updated literally just before I started this stream, so that's quite neat. Why have I gone to the camera page? I don't want that. MTB says Easyjet do still fly the A320 on Jerome a few weeks back. Yes, but was it a CO or was it a NEO or an IE? Prepare for pushback and departure. Okay, cockpit prep checklist. Aircraft acceptance has all been completed. Fuel quantity is 7 tons. Balance. Seatbelt signs are on. It is. We'll double check, but we should have 3 nav greens now after I reset the system. Yep. And QNH is 1013, and that's 190 feet.
We are ready for pushback.
Okay, let's get back on frequency. Gatwick ground, easy 49 extra Victor, stand 48 Romeo is ready for push and start.
Easy 4.
Departure check.
Easy 15 Kilo Charlie short of Romeo.
Inserted.
All aircraft requesting push, stand by 1 moment, I'll be back.
Easy 96, Lead Yankee, run 08 right short of Romeo.
Hawk Gaming altimeter is not set. No, it is just standard 1013. It happens to be that.
Gatwick ground, hello, go for about Charlie Delta Echo, Freddy check.
5-5.
Sounds like Gatwick's got kind of busy in the last half an hour or so, which I guess is to be expected.
Easy 15 Kilo Charlie next left for Romeo, hold to the Lima, can expect stand 112.
Left Romeo short of Lima, expect 112, Easy 15 Kilo Charlie.
Easy 49 X-ray Victor, stand for 8, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, easy 49 extra Victor.
Easy 96 Lima Yankee, pointing to the company A320, passing left
Beacon light
entering
on.
Romeo, and follow them, hold short of Lima, can expect stand 562 shortly.
Follow the company and hold short.
Pushback facing west.
Can we get stand 106?
Easy 96 Lima Yankee, Roger, taxi now, stand 106, Romeo and Kilo.
Before start checklist, parking brake is on, takeoff data is confirmed, windows are closed, EFB
Gatwick ground, 93 Echo, 321 stand.
is on flight mode,
Lanzarote.
doors are closed,
5174.
not yet armed,
Sorry, no channel.
and the beacon light is on.
The Euro wings, second call sign.
Easy 76 Uniform Whiskey Taxi, Able Bravo.
Where's my ground crew?
Easy 76 Uniform Whiskey, taxi running point Alpha 2 via Papa and Alpha Sierra.
Alpha 2, Papa Alpha Sierra, Easy 76 Uniform Whiskey.
Ground, speedboat fixed to Alpha, ready for push and start.
I did say I'd not updated GSX, I don't know if there's a GSX issue with this aircraft just yet. So we're ready to go. I don't know if GSX are waiting for us, but let's just release the parking brake, see what happens.
Alpine 2 Central True at gate 47 left, requesting push and start.
Nothing. Okay. Just reset the parking brake.
And 1-5, request push and start.
Easy 415, stand 135, push and start approved, face to the east.
Start approved, get to the east.
There we go. And parking brake's released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Easy 1.
Okay, nose steering disconnected.
905 Lima.
Engine mode set to ignition and starting engine 1.
Quebec Alpha, Papa and Alpha Sierra.
Quebec Alpha, Alpha, Papa, Alpha Sierra, Alpha 2, easy 695 Lima.
Paranoia check that the APU bleed is on.
8539 outside, ground.
Good evening, Speedbird 192 stand 36 request RFL with information Oscar QH1013.
Speedbird 192, I need you on an odd flight level. Would you like 300 or 320?
I'll take 320, my apologies. Speedbird 192.
Speedbird 192, cleared Dublin, November 1 X-ray departure, squawk 7016.
Look at all those lovely EasyJet aircraft.
Cleared Dublin, November 1 X-ray departure, and squawk 7016, Speedbird 192.
Gatwick ground, information please.
Oh, it's a very busy frequency.
Underground DC69 at X-ray taxi.
Right, engine 1 started. Starting engine 2.
Easy 539 outside, ready for taxi.
Easy 539 hotel, stand by.
Please set parking brakes.
And parking brake set.
2585 November request taxi.
Roger, stand by.
Easy 76, uniform with Fever Tower 124 T30, enjoy the flight, bye-bye.
124 230, Easy 76 uniform whiskey, bye.
Easy 34 Victor Alpha Tower 124 T30, good afternoon.
We'll pre-select that frequency.
Alpha Tower 124 T30.
124 230, easy 34 Victor Alpha.
Golf Bravo Charlie Delta Echo.
Gatwick ground, hello, Golf Bravo Charlie Delta Echo, Cessna 172 at the maintenance area 2. It is information unavailable. Request clearance VFR to lift the control zone to the south via hand cross VRB.
Left is clear.
Golf Delta Echo, stand by.
It is 45 for taxi and possibly between again.
Given how busy it is, let's do our flight control checks here. Where are you going? So, engine 1 happy, engine 2 happy, so engine mode selector to ignition, to normal. APU bleed can come off, actually that's not required, APU masters can come off. And spoilers, rudder, flaps to trim.
Tower ground, good evening. British Airways 5354 requesting IFR clearance to Officer Gardermoon, aircraft type A320 Neo at stand 105.
That's interesting. Why can't I set the trim?
5354, stand by.
Oh, you can't use the mouse wheel to set the trim. I'm having to set it using keystrokes. Okay, that's different. Not quite sure why you can't do that. I have to remember it. Alright, after start checklist, anti-ice is off, ecom status is checked, pitch trim is 26.9 and the rudder is neutral. Flight control check, then we'll go full left, full right,
Lima,
neutral,
confirm the new stand, easy 15
full
kilo
up,
Charlie.
full down, and neutral, rudder, full right,
53 left,
rudder,
15 kilo Charlie.
full left,
Easy 6,
and
123 decimal, correction 124 decimal 230, bye-bye.
124 330 669
okay. If we can get a word in then, we're ready to go.
Easy 15, Roger taxi, 100 Alpha T, Kilo Papa and Alpha Sierra.
Yeah, Nax, Ethan, good to see you on the live stream, mate. Thanks for joining us.
690 X-ray taxi.
Easy 69 Lima X-ray, Roger taxi, straight ahead to Shuttle Lima, got crossing traffic.
Sorry, straight ahead, hold Shuttle Lima, Easy 690 X-ray.
Gatwick ground, Easy 49 X-ray Victor, ready for taxi.
Easy 49 X-ray Victor, Roger taxi, Lima Papa, hold short of Kilo.
Lima Papa short of Kilo for Easy 49 X-ray Victor. Just confirm, Lima Papa and hold short of Kilo. Just right, guys, should be back now. Let me know if you can see it. Always annoying when that happens. So we have now just been cleared to hold Alpha 2, so takeoff performance is going to be fine. And worth noticing as well, when we're taxiing, we're now sat much further forward of the nose wheel, so don't be quite so quick to turn left or right. Oh, why are the seatbelt signs not working? Mini overhead not quite working with that properly then.
Gatwick ground, hello again, speedbird 192, stand 36, request push.
So we'll now do the taxi checklist as well, which we hadn't done as I was restarting Streamlabs. So flight controls have been checked, flap setting is config 2, FMA has got climb, nav blue 152 5000 blue, radar and predictive wind shear is on, ecam memo, got takeoff no blue, FP is stowed.
Speedbird 5354 requesting push and start at stand 105.
Gatwick ground, Easy 925 Alpha, request push and start, stand 101.
Gatwick ground, you are unreadable for your awareness.
Flying Cube, if you've got 720 quality, that will probably change as we get out of Gatwick. Might just be an issue with YouTube's bitrate, or my Streamlabs bitrate, given how busy things are here at the moment.
Gatwick ground, speedbird 5354 requesting push and start at stand 105.
So just roll over that taxi line and then make that turn.
All stations on the ground, Gatwick ground ready to check.
5x5.
Fabulous, it would help if I plugged my mic in one net, so. First one's called for Speedbird 19.
Thought control gone rather quiet. Timeship Smith, thank you so much, gifting 5 Easyjet symbolic channel memberships to the community. That is awesome support. Thank you so much.
Behind you, one's an Easyjet, one's a British Airways company 319. When they both clear from behind, 36 push proof. One's clear over 319 behind company, clear push down 36, Speedbird 1926. Okay, everyone else is checking in, go ahead.
Ground, good evening, Speedbird 6 Julia Alpha, ready to push and start, stand 101.
So 6 to Julia Alpha 101, prove, face to the east.
Face to the east, Speedbird 6 Julia.
Alpine 2743, requesting taxi.
One at a time, please. The station that was requesting taxi, go ahead.
Alpine 2743.
Alpine 2743, thanks. Taxi holding point. Alpha 3, runway 26 left, via Lima Alpha, Lima, Papa, and Alpha November.
So I am waiting for us to hand him off to tower, but he's very busy at the moment. We're in no real rush to get going.
To runway, to holding point, Alpha 3 runway 26 left via Lima, Lima Papa, Alpha November.
If people got a problem with the stream, it may be worth just refreshing the browser, pressing F5.
Hello, flight car 4175 with Papa request start.
And ground easy 49 extra Victor. Apologies, we're now holding Alpha 3.
E4 extra Victor, apologies, I've only just come on, I didn't see you there. Come to the tower, 124230, bye-bye.
Over to tower 12423, thanks. Easy 49 extra Victor.
Easy 49 X-ray Victor, Gatwick.
Easy 49 extra Victor, we're now on frequency.
Easy 49 X-ray Victor, Gatwick, hello. Apologies, I thought I already had you. Right, Alpha 1, the surface wind 200 degrees 8 knots, runway 26 left, clear for takeoff.
Fit Alpha 1, clear takeoff runway 26 left, easy 49 extra Victor. Right, let's go. Strobes, lights, and we'll get to hear the rev of those engines. TCAS, PAX, lineup checklist. Cabin is secured. Takeoff runway is via Alpha 26 left. TCAS TRA PAX 1 and 2 are off, just confirm. Yep.
26.825.
No worries, so I get the same from the other half. 126825, DC6 9 limit 20, bye.
Yeah, path's all clear. Those strobe lights seem to be flashing really far back now, don't they, compared to what you used to see?
539 hotel, right, Alpha 1, line up runway 26 left.
Right then, are we ready to go? First flight on stream of the A321. I'm going to turn up the sound and let you listen.
Easy 539 hotel.
Take off. Start the chrono.
Sorry, 539 hotel. Easy 539 hotel via Alpha 1, line up runway 26 left.
Advance 1.05.
Alpha 1, line up runway 26 left for 539 hotel.
Stable, set takeoff thrust. Manflex SRS runway auto thrust blue. Knots.
DJ 585 November, hold down for 1.
Hold down for 1, DC 585 November.
V1. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up.
D539 hotel traffic's about 3 miles on surface wind 200 degrees 8 knots, runway 26 left to immediate takeoff. Clear for takeoff, 26 left, 539 hotel.
Nav.
PD49 X Victor, contact Gatwick director now, 126.825, bye bye.
16825, easy for an extra Victor, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Autopilot 1 engaged, thrust
Easy
climb,
585 November, behind the landing, company A319, short final, flight Alpha 1 line up, runway 26 left behind.
Seem to be
Line
bouncing.
up 26 left behind landing
Flaps
company,
1.
Easy 585 November.
Speed check, flaps 1. Gatwick Director, good evening, Easy 49 Extra Victor, passing 2,100 for 5,000, Bogner 1 Extra.
Easy 49 X-ray Victor, good evening, Gatwick Director. Climb flight level 190.
Continue climb flight level 190, Easy 49 Extra Victor. Open climb. Standard pressure, 190 blue. Pass airspeed, flaps 1 to flaps 0, and spoilers disarmed. Yeah, not quite sure what the bounce was all about.
Griffin 7 India Sierra, contact Gatwick Tower 124.230.
If that's how we land, it could be interesting.
124.230, thanks and have a very nice evening. Griffin 7 India Sierra.
And go direct to 8690 actually.
Pass.
Just wanted to confirm your instruction was climb flight level 110, just to confirm it was not climb now?
It was climb 190 when you required.
No, that's fine, I just wanted to make sure so we don't cancel out set restrictions, that's fine. 190, Easy 690 Michelin.
Easy 539 Hotel, climbing through 3,000.
So still climbing quite nicely at the moment. You can see we're 2,900 feet per minute.
Climb flight level 190.
Climb flight level 190, 539 Hotel.
Okay, so spoilers, flaps, gears up, lights can come off.
Easy 69 Lima X-ray, no further ATC this evening, Unicom 122.8.
122.8, Easy 69 X-ray, bye.
So we're just holding clean speed until we pass our next waypoint, then we can push for managed speed and accelerate away. That's the reason for the high climb rate at the moment, just because we're not at 250. Yeah, anyone else had that bouncing effect on departure, if anyone has had a chance to fly this yet? Definitely different. Right, there we go. Push for managed speed, that nozzle will drop, and up we'll go. Captain Q, can you fly long haul?
49 X-ray Victor, there's no further ATC this evening. Monitor Unicom now, 122.8.
122.8, thanks for the service, Easy 49 Extra Victor, good night. Sorry, who was I just speaking to there about a Captain Q? Yes, oh yeah, you can, even the A320, believe it or not, can handle a 6-hour flight, as long as it's not, you know, too heavy. Right, so as we're coming up on 10,000 feet, let's just check, flight level 3-1 is the plan, 3-6 stops, yeah, that's fine, so, just go for it. Flight level 310 all the way up. And 310 blue, that's 10,000 feet. We've got airports on the EFIS. We will clear out the second flight plan. We'll set the cost index to 0. And up we go. Different sounds in different places, of course, as you head through the cabin. You can just hear the buzz as you sat forward of that. Oh, lovely. Look at the moon just coming up. Captain Q, A321 flaps 2 for configuration. Yes, that is correct. Bulgar, hello. Right, now we're in the climb. I can actually pay attention to some of the chat. Nebula, you're more than welcome. Burglar says the 321 flies like a proper big fella, doesn't it? Yes. Although, in fairness, you shouldn't find the handling too different. You know, they fly a much of a muchness, which is exactly as they should, though. To be fair. So you can see obviously the angle of attack greater than that of the 320 for obvious reasons. Yeah, there we go. We've got a gorgeous view of that moon rising as well. Right, seatbelt signs off. And it does look like a cloudless night, which is just perfect for our first flight. Celestial Orbits, good evening. Tyler Gray, how is the performance compared to the 320? They are pretty much exactly the same. I've not noticed anything different. We were glitching a little bit in frame rates were dropping when we were at Gatwick, but that was Gatwick with a ton of traffic all, you know, flying out. So I'm not going to hold it against it. Now we're free of Gatwick. It's pretty much what you would expect, I think. Enjoy the flight. I have no idea who that's from. If that was someone watching, thank you. All the random. I like it though. Okay, so now if anyone's got any questions about the Fenix, the performance, anything regarding the 321, the 319, now's the chance to ask. We're in the climb. We've got no ATC to distract us either. All is good. I'm now actually paying attention to the chat. So if you have asked me something and I've been rude and ignored it, then please don't hold that against me. Welcome to all our new subscribers and followers over on Twitch as well, guys. Thank you so much for that. Jordan B, good evening, mate. Yep, we are now spoilt for choice. Does anyone want to see the A318, the baby bus? Little Tarom and Air France flights. Ali, would I recommend you get into the PMDG 777 or all three of the Fenix aircraft? That is personal choice. Do you like the Airbus or do you like Boeing? I personally would get both. that's just me. Clever, did I close the cabin door? The reminder's a bit late. I did, Clever. Yes, I did close the cabin door. Aaron, would you recommend SDS for the side stick on or off? So if you have got the Thrustmaster side stick, turn it on and it just dampens it a little bit so it's not quite as lively as it is by default, which makes it a little bit more realistic, and that obviously is what we want. Jacob says thinks the A318 would be nice, but you'd rather see some Neos. Sid's Three Ways, can you join and fly along? You're on the old Jet Xbox. The problem is you can't fly on VATSIM. We're on the VATSIM network, but do feel free to fly along into Geneva tonight because that is where we will be landing shortly. Flying Cube now, A318, not really. A319 is small enough. It is, but imagine doing the A318 transatlantic crossing. If you could do the old British Airways Spirit 1 flight. Getting what will be Fenix's next project. It'll be the Sharklets, the wingtip fences, all of that, and the additional centre tank in the A321s, which means you will be able to fly that transatlantic quite realistically. Vince M, mate, thank you so much, gifting 5 Easyjet in-pilot channel memberships to our amazing community. Vince, you're a legend. Thank you for that. Supporting us, of course, at the same time. If anyone else wants to support us and also grab yourself some scenery, remember to check out the links in the video description below. If you shop online at the Contrail store, then you can pick up all sorts of goodies, including the SimFX, which we're using on our flight today, and with that you can use the discount code there and get yourself 10% off your entire basket as well. So obviously you can only use this code once per account, but the more you purchase, the more you save with that code, so definitely worth writing that down the next time you want something. And of course, anything from Innerbuild, the link down below, supports us as well if you pick anything up from them. So welcome to our new members there as well, courtesy of Vince. Thank you again, Vince. Again, no, does the A321 have the same engines? Yes and no. So the engines of the A321 are a little bit more powerful, for obvious reasons. You've got a bigger, heavier jet, so they've got to be. Yeah, to all intents and purposes, there's nothing majorly different in the way they run. The Neo, of course, they're the different jets, aren't they? But we've not got an A321 Neo at the moment, unless you count the Latin VFR, which isn't striving for actual realism, is it? And that's the other thing. A lot of people complaining about the price for the Fenix add-on. Think about the cost of the Latin VFR aircraft, which are nowhere near the quality of these Fenix aircraft. So, getting an awesome deal. Hey, Kick, good evening to you. So, where's that moon gone? Is it? It's hiding behind the bezel there. There we go. That's gorgeous. Just lovely. So, bear with me 1 minute. I've just realised my chat had stopped working, which is why I thought it was quiet. Oh, there we go. It's just refreshed. Sorry about that. Kachi, are there Aer Lingus liveries for all 3 aircraft? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. Jordan, you've got a question a bit off topic to the Fenix. We're flying a veer on the approach. Is there somewhere we can find it on the charts? If so, how? So the veer is just your initial approach fix, which, if you look on the charts, usually is self-explanatory. If there's one from the north, one from the south, one from the east, one from the west, depending on the direction you're coming from, you know, pick the one that is the direction you are coming from, and it usually then should make sense. 6581 says, got an interview with Boeing for technical author next week. Wish you luck. I do wish you luck indeed. Hope that goes well. Roy, does the 321 fuel dumping because of the increased fuel capacity? No. Julian von Berg says, hello from South Africa. That is awesome. Good evening to you. Lee, do I use a tiller for steering on the taxiway? So, I use my side stick with the twist handle. So, yes, I think is the answer to that. Jacob says you use the code to get the fantastic East Midlands by Pyrrhus. Yes. What an airport that is. What we will have to do is I was going to say we'll do some Jet 2 ops in the A321, but again, they don't have them. They have the A321 Neos. Stan Aviation, thank you so much for the sub. Clever Trevor has to dash. Enjoy the flight. Thank you, Trevor. Thanks for being here as well. Lollipop, the range of all 3 variants show the same on the aircraft selection page. Is that correct? Well, the thing is, and I got called out quite a bit on this on the last video. So I said when we were looking at you know, the challenges, not challenges, but things to think about with the A319 is the distance that you can fly. And a lot of people jumped in and said, well, the 319 has a greater distance. You know, a slightly greater range than even the 320. So, you know, you'll be fine if you load extra fuel on for diversions and things like that. The problem is, that is true in theory. But this is where, if you wanted to take things realistically and think about how things are done in real world, I'm just about to reach top of climb in a minute. The problem is, you can't always load the A319 up full of fuel in case you run into weather conditions at your arrival airport. And the reason for that is because you would arrive at the airport and you would be over your maximum landing weight. Or you're departing from somewhere like Jersey and you haven't got the performance to be able to take off at the heavyweight. Just excuse me, so we've got Mac cruise. So things to think about with the 319. Yes, you can throw all the fuel in the world on there, but if you're doing that so that you can get down to a little Greek island somewhere, but there's you know, potential thunderstorms over it, and you want that extra fuel to be able to divert and go to Athens, something like that. The problem is, are you actually going to be able to land when you get to your destination? Are you going to be above your regulated landing weight because you've thrown all that extra fuel on? You're only a little aircraft. You're not going to burn it off as much as you would do with the 320, 321, etc. So, whilst on paper the A319 does have a slightly longer range than the 320, realistically you are limited by the structural landing weight. So this is where the difference between what you can do in the sim and what you've got to think about in real life comes into play. So it will be kind of fun to, maybe we'll have to do a flight one day to somewhere with really nasty weather in a 319, which has got a full payload of passengers on as well. So we can't take any extra fuel. Technically there's space in the tanks, but regulated landing weight at the destination says you can't do it because you're not going to be legal to land. So there you go. Yeah, it's just other things to think about when we're flying different jets. Matthew says they are the same engines, just rated to higher thrust. Some, not all, CFM powered 321s have a slightly different exhaust for noise reduction. Thanks, Matthew, for the extra context. So we'll do our usual stuff. We're at top of climb. How long did that take, by the way? We reached it a couple of minutes ago. That wasn't bad. That was about 18 minutes. But we're not very heavy, are we? Definitely not a fully loaded aircraft tonight. So, yeah, brake temperatures are fine. In fact, we start at the beginning, please. Yeah, so we've used about 2 tons of fuel, which is great because we've got 5 tons of fuel on board, meaning that it adds up to what we had when we left. That's all fine. That's fine. Hydraulics are all fine. Notice exactly the same kind of thing that you're looking for as well. You know, 3,000 psi in the hydraulics, same as the 320. Fuel pumps, obviously, slightly different to the way the configuration of fuel tanks are for the 321. These are off. There's no fuel in it. That's why. A bit like Boeing in that sense, isn't it? But still, nicely balanced. AP obviously not on. Temperatures, they're nice. All the doors obviously fine, and nothing to worry about. All systems go. So if we just have a look at getting some en route weather, we'll have a look at sign the first officer out. Have a look at Paris. Have a look at Lyon. Sorry, Lima Fox. Lima. And of course seeing what's happening at our destination. Nora, where do you get the 319, 321? Available on the Fenix website or via the Fenix installer, which basically just takes you to their website, to be honest. Lee, could any of the 319, 320s, 320 Neos, 321s realistically fly Heathrow JFK? Yes, Lee, the 321 can. I think technically the 320 Neo can as well. Not that they normally do it. All depends how they're configured as well. You know, if you're not going to get an EasyJet 320 Neo flying that, because with 180 passengers on, it's too much. Right, we'll go in Paris. Cav OK, that's wide open. Leon's Cav OK, that's wide open. So, I know weather's looking good. And that is a gorgeous view. I think that's Paris actually over there, isn't it? It might not be. Might not be. Matthew says, yeah, the way the fuel moves in the 321 is different than the 19 and 20. So the 19 and 20 fuel is burnt directly out of the centre tanks when that has fuel. In the 321, fuel is only ever burnt out of the wing tanks. Fuel is then transferred from the centre to the wing tanks as is needed. Yeah, so you don't get that little ECAM message. This is something that Fenix have been saying in sort of their press releases, that all the ECAM systems have been changed between the two, because in the 319s and the 320s you'll have seen that little outer tank fuel transfer little message on the ECAM. You're not going to get that in the 321. That's when it drops below, I think it's 750 kilograms. Yeah, the Fenix team have had to do a heck of a lot of work in making what are very similar aircraft different, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Everlosi says, anyone else has any issues installing the 321-19? You follow the instructions and the files are in the community folder, but no aircraft in the sim. Tried real installing and no luck. Not that I'm familiar with. Obviously, what happens if you sort of delete those, go to the Fenix installer, make sure that you've got the Fenix installer running, and it is the latest version of the Fenix installer, which should actually update automatically. Taser says you want to sit in an EasyJet seat going for hours going to New York. Yeah, you're not going to get that. Captain Q, what will the VATSIM be for landing? So, I don't know yet. We've got that far. Faster than what you'd normally expect, because, you know, you've got a lot more energy for this aircraft. Ooh, that should be back to 4. I mean, to be fair, it's not a lot. We've not filled this in just yet, obviously, but what you do tend to find with this aircraft, you know, if you are heavier, is that you will have a faster approach speed. It's still a Category C aircraft, though, when you're looking at the charts. But because you've got a bit more energy and slightly more speed, more air then going over the wings, it's sort of flight dynamics 101, the responsiveness of the controls won't feel sluggish, even though it's the biggest jet, because you're travelling faster through the air. So it will react to your inputs almost, you know, just the same as the 320. Your biggest difference is just going to be careful when landing. Don't tail strike it. Don't over-rotate, over-flare. So we will we'll do a fuel check in about 47 miles, and we'll also do a landing calculation as well. Agando says the A320 XLR might be a game changer for the industry. First routes are going to be Madrid, Boston, Madrid, Washington. I know. So is Iberia getting the first one, Agando? Is that right? Everlease, give the Fenix team a chance. I think they have had a very busy day. Might be worth obviously popping a message out on the Discord server, see if that comes to anything, to see if anyone else has had a similar issue to you. Dat Droopy Pilot, are there any differences in the cockpit? Not really. A slight difference in the fuel on the overhead, but nothing that's you know really going to confuse you. This is one difference you might notice, sort of this econ flow button. Normally there's a rotary dial there for you to set the pack flow to low, medium and high. Now I believe this is actually a airliner specific add-on. In fact, Easyjet A321 Neos still have the dial. They don't have the econ flow, so must be an airline thing. I wonder which costs more, the button or the twist dial. I've no idea. BOSS has just joined. Would I say it's worth it? Definitely. Definitely. Matthew, we don't ever touch it. I know, there's no need, is there, really? The only time you'd ever need that, same with the normal pack flow stuff, you can set it to low when the passenger numbers are, is it something like below 121? I may have just plucked that figure out of thin air, but why would you need it? You can turn the pack flow to high when, you know, it's really warm, although, don't know if anybody knows, but if the APU is providing APU bleed, the pack flow is high automatically, regardless of what you've got set up there. So, Matthew, it's in the manual somewhere, let me find it. Thank you, Matthew. No, I could rely on you. The problem is finding the bit in the manual you need. Those manuals are big. Aaron, you bought the Fenix yesterday. If you'd have known, you'd have waited till today. Oh, Aaron, you see, we did say it in the video. But there you go. Lollipop. 3 aircraft and a bazillion liveries, or the 777. It depends on the kind of flying you like to do, I guess. Mr. Dog, you won't find a good aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator that is cheaper than the Fenix. That is very true. Can't argue with that. So as things stand, looking to get in about 50 minutes, maybe a bit less than that actually. So what's our landing weight going to be? 55, 56, 57, 58... Sorry, 68. Call it 69 tons will be the landing weight. I think we can work on that. Let's do a landing check. Latest METAR then at Geneva. Winds are 0103, cab OK. QNH is 1016. Let's just pre-select those. So, landing weight 69 tons. Flap 3, loads of room. That was easy. Fill in this page while we're here then. So that QNH is 1016, temperature 19. The winds are 0103. Flaps 3. Barry Bartson, good evening Barry. Oh, I'm glad you were able to join us on this flight. Our inaugural A321 flight. In an aircraft that Easyjet don't actually have. What are the minimums? Find that out.
Local traffic, Air France 612, runway 26 left, vacated, and we are crossing...
Category C aircraft 1620.
Right, via Terracerie, Air France, on roule à vous.
Okay, well that's that filled in. Oh my word, Barry, what a way to make an entrance. Barry jumping in the chat there and immediately gifting 10 Easyjet pilot channel memberships to our community. Barry, what an absolute legend. Always great to have you on the stream. And great to have you catching a live stream, because I know that you're just usually working God knows where around the world, so fantastic you're able to join us. We're on our way to Geneva, should be touching down in about 40 to 45 minutes. Our Airbus A321 aircraft, first flight, a real world A321 flight for Easyjet, although they use the Neos because they don't have the CEOs, but there you go. Barry, thank you so much, mate. Incredibly generous of you, because you support us so much, so really do appreciate that. Well, Mr. Jet says, probably been asked, but only just joined. For someone who was flying the 320 in the sim, what would be the major differences to take into account with flying the A321? Don't over-rotate, don't over-flare, that's the key thing. So, yeah, it's all about the length of your aircraft. Rotate gently, flare gently, and you'll be fine. From a sort of standard operating procedures point of view, it's all pretty much exactly the same. So you're not going to be caught out by anything. Mr. Dog, which Geneva scenery are we using? We are using the latest one to get released, not the Red Wing. The who is it? I can't remember who's done the latest one. Oh yes, Matthew's also just said as well, it's a slippery devil if you get yourself high and fast. Yeah, it's because it's so big. So watch the energy management coming in, which is something we're going to brief in a moment, because coming into Geneva we've got lots of hills that we've got to avoid, which is good fun. This would be a great flight to take to somewhere like Malaga, or even Palma, runway 06 left, because again you're left high because of the hills and mountains. So if you don't get yourself get that speed under control before you have to start going down, then you might find yourself in a bit of bother. The only other thing to mention is takeoff. Some airlines say flaps 2 for takeoff as a minimum, rather than flaps 1. Everly's do you often have to toga the A321? No. Airlines don't like toga. No, but don't you put the ground altitude in the ground acceleration altitude? No. The go-around altitude is different from the go-around acceleration altitude. The go-around altitude is basically the altitude that you're going to be climbing to. The go-around acceleration altitude is the altitude at which you reduce the thrust back to the climb detent after as you're climbing out. Bus driver says just landed 319 at Salzburg, needed plenty of speed brakes to slow it down on the approach. That's the thing, so the 319 will go down nice and easily, but it doesn't like to slow down when it's on the approach. So, yeah, good little life lesson there. Right, let's do a fuel check at Pekin. That's where we're at. So we've not done one yet. So we took an extra couple 100 kilograms of fuel, didn't we? Where are we? So we should have about 4.2 tons in the tanks. We've got 4.8, just under 4.4 actually. Sorry, 4.38 is what I meant to say, but yeah, just under 4.4. So yeah, fuel check is fine. Matthew, depends whereabouts you're flying. Some of the IAs have a feature called thrust bump. Yeah, oh yeah, we don't get that in Europe, because isn't that for, yes, that's for high and hot altitudes. It's never high enough here in Europe. But yeah, you've got plenty of places, you know, 6,000 feet above sea level and more. Easy Dream Player, how do you fly from the first officer view? Isn't there an option in the tablet to switch that? I mean, you can literally just mosey on across. Oh, that's bright. How blind is my first officer? Oh, that's the loudspeaker. I don't want that. No. Uh, 6581 says he did his landing at A3 in the A319 at Luton. Never seen his brakes smoke before. SimFX does that as well. That adds it in. Okay, so our top of descent is about 100 miles away. So sounds like a good opportunity to have a look at our arrival and brief it then. Just before you do that, if you are enjoying the stream, then please don't forget to hit that that like button. Honestly, that like button makes such a difference to the channel and the way the YouTube algorithms pick it out. So do appreciate everyone that that hits that. I know it's just a little thing, but it does make a difference. Jacob, does SimFX work on 319, 321? Yes, it does. They have literally updated it about 2 hours ago, so it now works. So yes, it does. Okay, so let's have a look at the approach, what we're doing. We're coming in on the Luzar 2 November, which begins here. So, we need to be 160, Lurko, Dinning, Sovad, Kerat, 503, and then we're coming in via Indis. So, first thing is first, let's check all those waypoints match up. Luzar, Sunny, Lurko, Dinning, Sovad, Kerat, 503, manual leg if ATC is online, and then Indis. So that's all fine. Radnav page will pop in the GVA VOR. SPR as well for the go around. I think it's SPR. Yes, Sampri there at the top right. So yeah, all of that matches, which is fine. Just going through the box, setting that up, and we'll brief how we're going to fly it. LSGG04. Just pop a 9-mile radius around that. Yeah, there we go. Rob A320, good afternoon to you. You have to change your name now, Rob, to Rob A320 Family. Acura, does the 319, 321 GSX seated passengers work? I'm not entirely sure, but there is an update for the GSX which you will need to run, so maybe that actually fixes it. I'm not sure if anyone else knows if that works or not. So that's done. That's done. Flap 3 landing. Minimums are in. VAT 145. Cleans 226. Landing weight's about 69 tons. Secondary flight plan copy active. Alright, box is set. So for the arrival end, once we get to our top of descent, we'll wind the altitude down to 8,000 feet. We need to be still above 8,000 feet by the time we get to Sovad. Max 250 knots. So yeah, 250 knots at Sovad. 10,000 feet, that's fine. And then we're going to start slowing ourselves down. We're on the left, hot and high. The speed there, you can see 220 knots at 503. So ideally we want green dot before we get to 503. After passing 503 then we'll go flaps 1 for the left turn base to Indis at 7,000 feet. That then should bring us straight in on the ILS 404. Now let's have a look at this. So the platform altitude there, yeah, at 7,000 feet, so that's fine. Category 1 approach, that's what we're doing. The weather's good enough, so it's all good. Minimum 1620. Flaps 2 will be out if we need them sooner, given the aircraft. But normally we'll look to get that with the glide. Interesting thing with the A321, you will probably be familiar with the little balloon effect you get going flaps 2 with the A320. Don't get that so much with the A321. So if you deploy it as the glide slope's coming down, don't expect it to sort of lift you into the glide. So yeah. Right, so yeah, so then by that point we'll be on the ILS, that's all fine. MSA is 7,000 feet to the north of the field, and the go around is straight out, hold at Saint-Prix, so it's pretty straightforward, that, isn't it? What we got, max 210 at or below 8,000, max 230 above 8,000, so yeah, we'll hold at 8,000, speed to 10, which will be flaps 1 for the hold with us today. Let's have a look at the runway. So we've got Pappy's on the left, normal 3-degree glide, slight displaced threshold there as well, and then once we've vacated, we're vacating to the right. What's the go around altitude? It is 7,000 feet. And I think that's the lot. So biggest threat with this airport, of course, we've got the terrain underneath us as we're downwind, making sure that we don't let the aircraft get ahead of ourselves, make sure we slow down in plenty of time, and our energy management is kept under control. The second thing then is obviously just the terrain all around the airport. We've got terrain to the north, the west, the south, the east. The only get out is northwest, which is northeast, which is straight out to Saint-Prix. So hopefully that's the brief all done. Got an aircraft 2,000 feet above us, that's fine, as long as it doesn't start to descend. No ADC required, excellent, we actually departed on time, that's nice. Barry says, what's Aviair Planner that we're using? Looks smooth, something new. Yeah, Barry, so there's a video on the channel if you want to check it out in a bit more detail, but it basically just means that we've got LiDAR charts, which is what Easyjet uses in real life, so still use Jefferson for all our data and nav data and such, but we've now got LiDAR charts. There are some subtle differences. I think it's harder to spot constraints on this on LiDAR. Jefferson make them really, really easy, you know, different colours and whatnot. Jefferson, you have to search for things a little bit more. Lee says he needs to learn how to configure these planes to auto-land. You can never get it to work. Basically, Lee, all in the most simplest of terms, if you just want to auto-land, make sure you're doing an ILS approach. Ideally, the runway should be Cat 2, Cat 3 authorised, but you can land Cat 1, but I'll not bore you with the restrictions that need to be in place for that. And all you're doing on the performance page is, in the radio page here, just type in no. Literally, N-O. That's an auto-land. There's a bit more to it than that, but the plane will auto-land if you do that. There's just more legal stuff that you need to do. Not gonna mess around with that in flight sim though. Actually, you mean fly the British Airways Ops. Looking forward to getting your hands on the A319 and flying it in the old BAE special livery. Yeah, I was down at Heathrow the other day and I saw the A3. Is it the A320 they've got in the? Is it the One World livery that they've got? Lollipop says American Airlines A321 has a red warning plate on the A321's tail strike warning next to it. Nice. Barry, is it payware? Does it replace Navigraph? Yes and no, Barry. So the flight planner is nowhere near as good as Navigraph's. It is payware, but I think it's something like £3 a month. It is much cheaper than Navigraph. But at the moment, they haven't got the nav data. They will, but they haven't got it yet. But yeah, if you want to check that out in a bit more detail, it's in the video that we did not too long ago. Yannick, do I know if the Wingwing FCU works with the 319 and 321? I've heard conflicting reports. Some people said it did, some people said it didn't. I've not tested it because I've got the Wing Flex FCU and EFIS, which works beautifully. Incidentally, if anyone does want to get the Wing Flex FCU and EFIS, remember that there is a $75 discount code which is in our on our Discord server. I think it's something like Easyjet Fans FCU, all in capital letters. That gets you $75 off the Wingflex FCU, which is actually quite a saving, considering how expensive it is. Atis, greetings from Hungary. Flying Cube, the thing with Avia Planner is the nav data won't be able to be used in SimBrief. No, you're right, it won't. So there's a bit of an issue there. Evelise, you've now lost the entire Fenix A320. There's definitely something not right, is there? I'd post some screenshots in the Fenix Discord and see if anyone else is having similar issues. Lee, what is the delivery time on those FCUs? Well, the Wingflex one, you would have to check on their Discord server. I think it's a couple of months. Nitro, is EasyJet Switzerland a lot different from EasyJet UK? Not really. I think all the standard operating procedures are pretty much the same. They have a different call sign, and they have different aircraft. But different aircraft with some different toys on them. But that's about it. Flecktree says the aircraft module name retrieval status failed for the Fenix 321 CFM in the Wingwing FCU software, so no, it is not supported at the moment. I'm sure they'll turn it around quickly. Right, we can just see the Alps ahead of us now, can't we? I'm still using the mod for the sky textures, so let's see what they're like. That is oh, actually, is that default? I actually can't remember now. I can't remember which is the real textures. That's the problem with it. I think that's the mod. Honestly, not sure. They only affect the sky textures though. They don't affect anything else. Igor says you've been using the Avia Planner for a few days. You can't see the initial climb on some of the SIDS. Is that a Lido form? I think. Yeah. So this is what I was saying a bit ago, Igor. I like the Lido charts are nice. They look pretty, but sometimes it's hard to find the information. So when we were departing Gatwick, just find that. So normally they have an initial climb somewhere, and if they don't, then it's usually a lot easier to see because of the way they write the constraints. But here the constraints are just the same colours as the waypoints. So look at that, you know, you've got a max speed there of 220. It's in black. You need to be above 4,000 at Kilo Sierra 11. Again, it's just black. The initial climb is 5,000 feet, not 6,000 feet. That's your first restriction. 5,000 feet at Kilo Sierra 17. So, yeah, they are a little bit more difficult to find. Box head, are we on VATSIM? We are indeed, yep. We usually are always on VATSIM, to be fair. Scotty, is the A321 suitable for long distances? I would say so. Depends what you mean by long distance, though. I wouldn't try a 10-hour flight in one. Simon says to Evolution, you had the Fenix 320 just stopped working, couldn't reinstall it. Logged the ticket with Fenix, then they got it sorted quickly. What was the solution, Simon? Maybe that might help others. Right, so down we go. Max descent is a blue. I will descend at the usual speed of 270 knots. I'll pull speed for that. Nitro, why don't Fenix do the 320 family? I've no idea. Maybe they've not got the software for it. Obviously everything's based on ProSim, isn't it? Which obviously they need to pay for. Where's this aircraft? He's about 800 feet above us. Which is a bit concerning. I don't want him to squash us. Roy, what happens if you land overweight in the Airbus? To be fair, it handles it pretty well. I mean, the overweight landing procedure in the Airbus is basically start the APU, which gives the engines more performance. So the APU bleed takes that aspect of things away from the engines, so the engines have got the best performance, and land as softly as possible. The main thing is make sure you can stop. do a landing calculation. Make sure you can stop at the weight that you're at. Because when you're on the ILS approach, to use manual selected because you find managed speed is quite fast. Oh no! I usually use selector speed sort of 180 with flaps 1 and 2, and then 160 if we need to maintain that for ATC separation rule reasons, up until about 6 miles. 6 miles out, I'm going for managed speed to slow down to my landing speed, VAP speed, gear down, and then we're done. We might do it a tad earlier in this aircraft. Ed, what's the difference on the overhead panel in 321? Not a great deal. So the fuel panel is slightly different because of the way the fuel is transferred out of the centre tanks and then always drawn in from the outer tanks. Sorry, the engines are fed by the outer tanks, never the inner tanks. Fuel's just transferred from the inner tanks to the outer tanks, which then feeds the engines. But unless something's broken, you're probably not going to have an issue. And the only thing they've included is the econ flow button, which you don't really need to touch. Hey Leon, good to see you. Yannick, any Simbrief profiles out there? Yes, check out the video that I released earlier on today about the release, and there are links in that video description to those Simbrief profiles, courtesy of Fenix, who have created those. Simon, why does your sky look a bit different? Because I'm using a mod for my skies. Whether you like it or not is entirely your own preference. So default should look like this. But my sky with the mod turned on looks like that. Lee, yes, you need to press this button if you plan on doing a flap 3 landing. Otherwise the aircraft is going to scream at you when you try to land and you're only on flaps 3 configuration. Roy, what's the minimum landing distance for the A320? I've seen them land at airports at around 1600 meters. Feet, sorry, not meters. No, meters. Yeah, confusing my units. Meters. 1600 meters. Ed, is the sky mod a reshade? No, it's not. Because, like, there's a video on the channel about it. Nitro says, "Oh, that's why it was screaming terrain." Yes, probably. Right. So, if we plan on just getting underneath that profile a little bit, because we're bang on it at the moment, which, to be fair, I'm happy with, but I do need to slow down. So, we'll probably look to go to open descent, maybe just before we get to Sovad, which is there. Drop underneath that profile, and then we'll be good to make the base turn sooner rather than later. Something. What's the difference between the 321 and the 320 overhead panel? Mainly the fuel bit. I think if you rewind the stream about 10 minutes, I think we've just spoken about that. 013, do I use track IR? No, I don't. Gentleman sausage, hello. There's a phrase I never thought I'd say on stream. So I can make a little PA to the passengers now. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we're on our descent now towards Geneva, looking to be on the ground in about 20-25 minutes or so. Cabin crew will be going through the cabin shortly, so if you can help them by popping your tray tables in their up position and the seats in the upright position, and any help or assistance required, our cabin crew will be happy to help you. See you on the ground in about 20 minutes, where the weather is looking really nice in Geneva. What a view. How good does that look? Again, how's the bird different to the flight director? So, the flight director obviously is sort of like the crosshairs. Basically, get the flight director in the center of the screen, and you're going the path that it wants you to go. The bird is telling you where you are, where the aircraft is actually pointing to, the difference sort of between your heading and your track, and also it moves around. It will show you what your angle of attack is, if you're nose up, nose down, etc. So that's only usually used on nav approaches and things like that. Won't be used today. And to be fair, it's only usually used when you're not using final approach mode. Travel Planet Island, hello mate, from Operational Control Centre Dublin, ops for Ryanair. Right, so we've just pulled now, thrust idle, open descent. And we're going to wind that speed down to 250 knots, and let's have a little look at those spoilers. Which is going to be our best view for those. Probably there. There they are, just coming up. I'm going to start concentrating then on our landing now. Slight change in the airflow, you can just hear it as well, which is really neat. Gentlemen, we had a vote on our Discord server. The 321 or the A319. People want to see the A321, hence why we're in that today. So we've got our airport down there as Lake Geneva. Geneva traffic easy 49 X-ray Victor overhead Sovad waypoint on the Luzar 2 November arrival. We're now downwind for the ILS 04. Seatbelt signs on. Aircraft on final as well, just down there that you can see.
Geneva traffic, easy 39 Papa Charlie, taxi and holding point of Golf, runway 04 via South Apron and out to taxiway, Geneva traffic.
India November Echo is identified.
47 Bravo, Geneva traffic, what he said.
Activate our approach phase. Ten 10,000 feet, landing lights on. And local QNH now 1016, 7000 blue. Approach checklist, BRF QNH 1016, signal signs are on. Minimums are 1620, auto brake low, EFB stowed. Bemba, they Easyjet have got quite a lot of A321 Neos, not the CEOs though. Right, start slowing down. So push for managed speed. This is why I want to get below that profile just a little bit, so we've got time to level off and slow down. Box said the PA announcements are part of the aircraft. Yes, you can choose your own PA announcements. I think I did a video on the channel about sorting out your custom announcements for the Fenix aircraft. So yeah, obviously I've just popped Easyjet ones in there. Steve, excuse me, Steve, are we able to update the ARC through the Navigraph hub yet? So I didn't have to update it for the 321 because as long as you've updated it for the Fenix A320, it reads all the same. So yeah, that's all fine.
The pressure's on the Easyjet sim pilot, we're all watching.
Let's hope we don't tail strike it first time out then, shall we? So we'll get a beam in this, we'll then go direct in this, and I think we're going to be fine then. So flaps 1, speed's checked, flaps 1. Wind the speed back 190. Okay, and direct in this. Geneva traffic easy 49 extra Victor, now turning left base direct in this for the ILS runway 04, Geneva traffic. Okay, Alt Star, Glide Slope, Lock Blue, Cat 3 Dual, Autopilot 1 and 2. It says first time flying on a virtual airline and tailstruck at ATR on takeoff, which was embarrassing. Made back the money that it cost, and then you tailstruck it again. Whoops.
Radio check. Breathability 5.
Currently, if you were above profile at less than 10,000 feet, are you permitted to increase speed above 2.5? Not unless you have special permission from ATC. Personally, it's sort of get the spoilers out, even the gear, anything, get anything out. Although, the gear at 250 knots, you're going to feel that. Leon Aviator, do I know how long the bundle offer will last? I don't, I'm afraid.
Geneva traffic Alpine 2 Central 3, turning around left base to Indus. We are about 7 miles out for the landing traffic. Geneva traffic.
And Geneva traffic Easy 49 X-ray Victor is establishing ILS 04, speed 190, and we are 18 miles out. Lock star. Rally Racer, anyone getting cabin pressure problems in the Fenix A319? In what sense, Rally Racer? Glide slope star, missed approach altitude 7,000 feet is set. Right, flaps 2, speed's checked. Flaps 2. So this way you can see that aircraft is having to sort of nosedive down after that glide slope.
Easy 39 Papa Charlie departing 04, Molus 4 November departure, Geneva traffic.
So look at that speed, we can't configure flaps 3, we're too fast at the moment, it's just catching up with that glide slope. Yeah, it doesn't like to go down and slow down, does it? Now the speed's starting to bleed off. Speed 180 set. Yeah, Froome, flaps 3. I like flaps 3 landings. And it's a similar picture with the A320 flaps 3, so there should be a sense of familiarity. Okay, we're happy with that. 10 miles out, bang on the headwind. Everything's captured and looking good. Geneva traffic easy, 49 X-ray Victor, 9 mile final, runway 04, speed 180. Just giving the speed call outs as well, because I know there's an aircraft behind us, so it's always worth doing so they know what they're doing. Rally Racer might be worth going onto the tablet and just...
And Geneva traffic Alpine 243 on the localizer for runway 04, 18 miles out.
Sorry, I was just listening to that guy there. It might be worth just using one of the pre-selected configuration settings, so, you know, cold and dark, on APU, taxi, ready to go, etc. Okay, so that's 7 miles. Manage the speed. Gear down. Spoilers, flaps 3, speeds checked. Flaps 3. Radio altimeter alive, of course.
Geneva traffic, easy 55 Alpha November. Behind the company A321, we're going to be lining up 04 behind.
And landing checklist. So our cabin is secured, go around altitude 7,000 feet set. EK memo landing no blue. Right, let's see if we can land an A321. Mike, you have indeed just joined in time for the landing. And look at the speed. Our speed at the moment is about 150. What was VAP? 145. Got a bit of a headwind though. So it is going to need a little bit of flare. 145 is faster than the norm that we're used to. Nithro, you don't use selector speed for landing. No. Manage the speed, that way you get things like ground speed mini and all that stuff working for you. Autopilot's off. It's now my aircraft to crash. 1,000 feet. Stable.
Above. Minimum.
Continue.
100.
Geneva traffic, easy 52 Papa taxi, qualified Golf runway 04 via in an hour.
Retard. 10. 5.
Woo! Very nice.
Okay, spoilers for screen decel.
And Geneva traffic Alpine 2743 4 miles for runway 04, sorry.
Manual brakes. A little bit of weaving on that runway. Just needs a bit more friction, doesn't it? Once the aircraft's down, let it plant and stay there.
Barely.
Geneva traffic, easy 55 Alpha November, departing 04.
Geneva traffic runway 04 vacated.
Geneva traffic Alpine 2743, just contact me when you're up onto the departing aircraft.
Okay.
Right, get those lights turned off, get the APU started. Go find somewhere to park.
Traffic.
And that's why you turn off, or rather, someone else turns off the TCAS system for you so you don't get screams like that.
Remember, the airborne Geneva 04.
Alpine 2743, landing 104 right, that was a close one.
Beautiful. That felt very nice.
Easy 47 Bravo, lining up 03 Geneva.
Safety related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off.
Oh, we meant 04, we're drunk.
Devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used.
You shouldn't drink and fly.
Why not? So we'll check out the landing of that,
shouldn't be sober.
the replay of that landing in a minute or two. We'll just go and dump the aircraft at the gate somewhere. Nitro, you use 2 autopilots when doing an ILS landing just for redundancy in case one decides to have a wobble.
After you today, our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or Easyjet.
Geneva traffic Alpine 2743, runway 04 vacated.
Lovely, jubbly. Yeah, Geneva traffic 0403, wherever we are, easy 47 Bravo departing.
Geneva traffic, top to 9 kilo jet interaction, top to 9 kilo taxi and holding point park short runway 04 Geneva.
Gotta love VATSIM. Buck said the call signs are different to the flight numbers. The flight numbers for EasyJet all begin with the letters numbers U2, and then the actual call signs are usually Easy, Alpine or Top Swiss. Right, I'm just going to dump the aircraft at the terminal and then we can do a replay. See what that looks like. So has anyone else been flying the A3... why are my strobes still on? Ah, right, okay, so my overhead doesn't quite work. Yeah, has anyone else been flying the A321 tonight? How have you found it? Let me know. Captain Leo, thank you for the sub. YTP, am I flying back? No, sadly not. No. Right, this stand will do. Stand 14. Lights off. Will not blind anybody. Mike, they can't get the weather radar working just because Azobo haven't allowed them access to the weather data. That's why. So we'll come off VATSIM in a moment because I don't want to spawn in on the replay with that. There we go. Right, parking brake set. Welcome to Geneva, guys. That was an awesome first flight with the A321.
X-ray 10 miles, 04.
Loved it.
Geneva traffic, Easy 5C Papa,
So,
departing runway 04, Mollis for November departure.
let me come off the VATSIM network, get rid of that, and we'll have a look at what that landing looked like. Should we switch it to daytime just for the replay so we can have a good look at her? Oh, there we go, a little bit of low sun.
Too low, terrain.
Don't know how SkyDolly will work with the replay, whether it will actually deploy flaps, slats and things. Well, actually it looks like it is doing, so that's cool. The ram air does work in the Phoenix. Yes, it does. Jocelyn, good morning. Not yet, Josh. I mean, Geneva's always a gorgeous view, isn't it? It doesn't matter what the weather is. Geneva always looks stunning. Right, shall we go outside for a an external view on the A321 landing? See what she looks like. So yeah, that is that improved heat blur from SimFX. They have now made the A320 package work with the A321 and the A319. So let's see what she looks like as we come in. It's almost a level angle of attack, that actually, isn't it? Oh, that's beautiful. Yep, we'll definitely take that. Definitely. So guys, there you are, our first flight in the A321 Neo, which is just absolutely gorgeous. Cancel these alarms. Go away. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed our first look at the 321. Next, of course, we will be on the A319 to see what that is like. Reminder before you go, if you haven't done so already, then please do hit that like button, and also, if you are visiting the contract store, make sure you grab that code, and the InnoBuilds store link down below. Using that link does support the channel, so massive thanks to everyone who's already done that. I'm going to leave you with our sort of landing from the front of the aircraft camera view as we go. Thanks to everyone who has joined on this stream. It's been great to have so many people tonight as we check this out. Join me again for our next one, the A319. Details, of course, will be posted on our Discord server, as they always are. Again, link in the video description below to join that. Huge thank you, as always, to our amazing Easyjet Sim Pilot channel members, and for those of you who have donated, gifted memberships as well, a million thanks over, all legends, the lot of you. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, time for us to check out this landing from the front of the aircraft. In fact, you know what? We'll go first officer's perspective. Thanks very much, guys. I'll look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. And Andre Schuffs, welcome to Training Captain level membership, mate. Thank you for that support. Really do appreciate that. Whatever you do for the rest of your evening, everyone, please enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the Fenix A319, A321. I look forward to doing many more flights with the rest of the A320 family now. Huge shout out to the Fenix team. Thanks, guys. Good night.